Fight without fighting to win the war. One day in Japan in 1540, there was a young samurai telling stories in a ferry boat. He was telling everyone about his great victories while also maneuvering his sword around to demonstrate his prowess. The passengers weren't that interested, but they were afraid, so they acted as if they were interested in the stories this young samurai was sharing. Only one person didn't seem interested, an old man who was sitting by himself and ignoring the young samurai. The older man was noticeably a samurai as well because he was carrying two swords. What no one knew is that he was Tsukahara Bokurin, known as one of the greatest swordsmen in Japan. The old man sat with his eyes closed, meditating. This irritated the young samurai because he wanted all the attention he could get. When he couldn't stand it anymore, he said to Bokurin, "Don't you like this kind of talk? You didn't even know how to wield a sword, old man, do you?" "I most certainly do," answered Bokurin. "My way, however, is not to wield my sword in such inconsequential circumstances as these." "A way of using a sword that doesn't use a sword," said the young samurai. "Don't talk gibberish. What is your school of fighting called?" "It is called Mutekatsu Ryu, style that wins without sword fighting," replied Bokurin. "What? Mutekatsu Ryu? Don't be ridiculous. How can you defeat an opponent without fighting?" Of course, the young samurai was irritated and he challenged Bokurin to a fight. But Bokurin refused to fight in such a crowded space with innocent people. He said that as soon as they reached the nearest shore, they could fight, and he asked the ferryman to take the boat to the nearest island. The young man began warming up and stretching while Bokurin remained sitting with his eyes closed. As they got close to the island, the young samurai jumped out of the boat and started calling Bokurin out. "Come, you are as good as dead. I will show you how sharp my sword is." Bokurin took his time, which annoyed the young samurai, who kept screaming and acting tough. Then Bokurin handed the ferryman his swords, saying, "My style is Mutekatsu Ryu. I have no need for a sword." And as he said that, he took the ferryman's long oar and pushed it against the shore, which sent the boat out into the water away from the island. Of course, the young samurai screamed and demanded they return to fight. Bokurin shouted back, "This is what it's called victory without fighting. I dare you jump into the water and swim here." And just like that, the battle was won without fighting. In your quest to dominate your niche as a thought leader, it's important to identify the battles that you need to avoid. This is especially important when picking the topics and keywords you want to rank for. It is key that you start with keywords that don't have a lot of competition, or keywords that have low quality content ranking at the top. This way, you'll start picking up easy wins to build the necessary momentum and authority to later on go for bigger and more valuable keywords. And who knows, once you're dominating your niche, you might win some keyword battles without fighting at all because others will start to avoid the keywords you dominate. They'll see your content and will know it'll be almost impossible to create a piece of content that outranks it. Applying these personal branding strategy insights. If you like these insights and are hungry for more, then I have good news for you. There is more. For more personal branding insights from historical figures who were able to almost dominate the world, you can read the top 13 personal branding strategy tips from Napoleon Bonaparte. If you want more details about what you get with a personal branding strategy, you can get some insights from our services page where there's a description of the personal branding strategy services. Whenever you're ready to get started with the creation of your personal branding strategy, you can apply to book a complimentary consultation call with us. And if you want more historical war stories, I'd recommend you read the 33 Strategies of War by Robert Greene.